In the United States, when people drive from one state to another, they often see a big "Welcome to the state" board. But not all drivers are welcome in every state, specifically immigrants without legal status. States like Florida and Tennessee has passed law that make it illegal for people with driver's licenses issued to undocumented immigrants to drive. Well, this problem is growing as President Donald Trump's administration tightens its immigration policy. Many Republican-led states are pushing laws that target undocumented immigrants, making it harder for them to get around. On the other hand, 19 states and Washington D.C. too still allow people without a legal status to get driver's license. The situation is complicated. In some states like Florida have passed laws that make it a crime for people with certain type of driver license to drive. These licenses are given to people who can't prove that they are in the US legally, such as those from Connecticut and Delaware. If you remember, then back in May 2023, Florida became the first state to invalidate certain out-of-state licenses. The law makes it a crime to drive in Florida with a license issued only to undocumented immigrants. These licenses often have special marking to show the person is in the US illegally. But this law applies mainly to licenses from Connecticut and Delaware. In Connecticut, nearly 60,700 drive-only licenses have been issued to immigrants who can't prove that they are in the US legally. In the other state, this number is not publicly available though. And also now the law's effect are seen more in states like Florida, where lawmakers like Governor Ron are really focused on limiting the rights of undocumented immigrants. In the meanwhile, Connecticut's Democratic Governor Ned Lamont tries to propose a law to end these special licenses, but it didn't pass. Other states like Tennessee and Alabama are also considering laws to stop immigrants with special licenses from driving. Some states like Alabama are now proposing that highway welcome signs should include messages about which licenses are not accepted. In Alabama, Republican lawmakers are pushing laws that target immigrants without legal status. In fact, their state senator said that we want to discourage illegal immigration from staying in Alabama. In the meantime, some Democratic lawmakers like Senator Linda have suggested that the state should put up signs to let people know about these particular laws. Well, the wave of law is part of a trend where states are getting more involved in immigration enforcement. Experts like immigration attorney Kathleen believe that this could be seen as just symbolic. For example, in Florida, some immigrant advocates say that they don't even know of any cases where somebody was fined or jailed for using an invalid license. However, it still creates a lot of fear and confusion. In some cases, immigrants who live in states where licenses are allowed might travel to other states for work and end up in legal trouble. Immigrants in places like California are particularly worried because they have legal driving license but fear that they might be stopped in other states. If we see it from an Indian perspective, then for Indian migrants in the US, this situation adds another layer of stress. Many Indian workers, specifically those on temporary work visas like H-1B, often find themselves caught between strict immigration rules and need for mobility. For those without legal status or struggling with visa renewals, these laws create uncertainty. Indian immigrants often travel for work, family, or tourism, and having a legal driver license is very important for them to move freely. But with these new restrictions, many are afraid that they will face some sort of problems, specifically when they visit states with a more aggressive immigration policy. This shift in law is specifically troubling for Indian community, many of whom rely on transportation to get to work, take care of their family, and access healthcare. Well, as more states move to target immigrants through driver's license, the question is whether lawmakers will stick or face legal challenges. Some experts suggest that many of these new laws are likely symbolic but still cause fear and anxiety among immigrants. For now, Indian immigrants and others who depend on these licenses will need to stay alert as the legal landscape continue to change.